I have a track day in 5 days with my E30 M3 here, and like any good BMW enthusiast, I have waited till the absolute last minute to make the upgrades that I want to make before the track day. So today we're going to do them. This is my 1989 E30 M3 track car that you guys may or may not be familiar with. S14 powered, standard 5-speed, full cage, etc., etc. There's a few things after my couple track days that I've been wanting to change. Some are more necessary than others, some are just my preference, and I have those things laid out here, and I'm excited to go ahead and make some upgrades to this car. So here's all the things on the agenda today. We have a Dogleg 5-speed transmission, we have solid motor and trans mounts, we have a DTM chassis mounted shifter, a full exhaust, and a rebuilt drive shaft. Now, this car, the 5-speed that's in it is stock US H pattern. It's a little tired, it's a little leaky. After a few track days, I've learned that I really do want a Dogleg because second and third are right on top of each other, so you're just a lot quicker. Doing the crossover, especially in a car like this where on technical tracks you're really only using second and third, gets a little bit tiring. So I found myself a Dogleg 5-speed out of a 1979 Euro 635. Bell housings will be different, we'll have to replace that. I'll show you how to do that. With that, I got myself a chassis mounted DTM shifter. I'm really excited about this because for those DTM nerds out there, you know, if you've ever seen like in-car footage of Chicado and stuff, this is exactly what they use right here. Found this from a gentleman in Europe named Marcus. It is a really nice one-to-one of a chassis mount. I mean, exactly how they were. Dual shear selector rod to go with it. When using a chassis mount like that, you need to upgrade your bushings. Stock bushings are a recipe for disaster. So here I have AKG's, they call Group N equivalent mounts. So you have the motor mounts, trans mounts. These are pretty much a stiffer poly, so it won't be extremely harsh on the car, but it'll stiffen things up. AKG is pretty much the only brand I trust when it comes to poly stuff. A lot of brands make junk. And then obviously having the trans out, it's a good time to upgrade the drive shaft. And then because I'm in there already, I really love the side exit exhaust. It's louder than hell. However, I bought this with the car, a beautiful oval, 3-inch oval with a vibrant muffler on it. I'm gonna be doing a lot of instructor time at HPDE events, and yelling over the screaming side exits just not really functional. The weight savings I'm getting out of it are not important to my driving skill at the moment. So I have it, might as well use it. I think this will sound really good, and will honestly probably make the car a little more tolerable to drive, which I'm excited about. Without further ado, we have a list of things to address here. Let's go ahead and do it. So the first thing we're gonna do is motor mounts, because I'm gonna do this on the jack stands before I get on the lift, because it's gonna be easier to use the jack to get the engine up and down. So we have to get a heat shield off, 3 nuts, or in my case 2, that hold this on, and this is very important. You absolutely need this, especially if you're running poly, because you will melt your poly bushings. Group N legit ones would be the way to go here, but those are immensely expensive. So unfortunately, that's not gonna happen right now. 17 driver's side here. If I use enough extensions, I should be able to slip it right here. Now we can go underneath and jack the engine off the motor mounts. Now we'll just lift it up. All right, yeah, we're off. Now we can get them from the bottom, and they should just pop right up. All right, that's one. That was insanely difficult. Not really that bad. Let's see, is there a date? 97, no way. Really? There is no way. This car's on 1997 motor mounts. I mean, they're not even bad. Look at this. I mean, they got some movement, but damn. That's actually extremely impressive. Our passenger side now. Okay, and here's this one. Let's see the date. Also 97. And this one's perfectly fine too. That's crazy. How, after all these track events, did this guy not even go through motor mounts? These are totally usable. That is insane. Here we have the AKG, fresh hardware with it. Okay, so I'm gonna try to lower this jack and hold it. Beautiful. The key to motor mounts is to leave them loose in the subframe, and then if you can guide them with your hand, as you lower the engine, carefully guide them into place. Because if you have them tight on the subframe, usually they will not line up with the motor mount arms. But looks like we got them both lined up here. Just lower the engine on them. Now AKG gives you their own torque specs, 28 foot-pounds. And this one, you can't really get a torque wrench on it. Motor mounts are in and done, and let's see. Motor mounts aren't moving at all. Trans mounts are. Motor mount job complete. Get this thing up in the air and begin the actual work. All right, how are we looking, lad? Glad I'm doing this, because our passenger trans mount is sheared. Missing the nut, actually. Wow. I failed my nut and bolt check last time, I guess. The exhaust here, our beautiful straight pipe side exit. While I do love it, we will be removing it for now. At least, you know, give ourselves a relatively quiet exhaust. But that trans mount, that's alarming. That's pretty bad that I was driving like that. This exhaust should be pretty easy to remove. Oh! Shoulder to the lift. That didn't feel good at all. Oh! Holy crap. And we got our one little puny mount over here. Now that the exhaust is out, we're gonna work on getting the drive shaft out. So we got our 4 nuts back here. That was loose. And there's our drive shaft. Now, nothing on this is screaming to me that it's failing. I mean, there's a little play in that U-joint. And then back here, I mean, it's definitely loose, but I wouldn't say that it's like, feels that bad. It's not quite as tight as this one. But yeah, I don't know. The weird clunking I was getting only on like deceleration at very random times. I can't think of what else it could be, but the drive shaft doesn't seem bad, so this is gonna be a good spare to have around. All right, now we're gonna work towards getting the transmission out. So we gotta get the slave cylinder out, shifter linkage, all this is gonna be no more. We're gonna have a chassis mount in here. So good riddance to it all. Carrier was pretty ripped as well. All these components were pretty withered. This is the carrier, and you can see the play, tons of play. Shifter actually isn't too bad. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, it's not a rusty car, so I wasn't expecting that to be problematic. Wonderful. Just 2 now, so we will get the jack in place. Wrap this around. Should just slide right off. Yep, easy. And our transmission is off. Shift shaft seal is definitely leaking pretty badly, but otherwise, not too bad, not too bad. Let's play a game called Which Getrag Is It? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no, shop's a disaster right now. I have a bunch of transmissions laying around, so I just pulled the drivetrain out of that E30 M3, so I got a G280 here. We got our Dogleg that's going in. We have our 265 overdrive that came out. We got another G280 right here that's a spare, and then we got a G260 right here that's from an E28. So I am at my capacity on Getrags for sure. So here we have both of our 265s. You can see more or less they are identical. at least bell housing, well, even the bell housings really are the same shape. They're not any different, except the E30 M3 has bell housing crank sensors. The early 6 Series that these came with did not. Kind of stupid. BMW couldn't have just made these all uniform, but we do have to swap these out. But that's why we love G265s, because you have 4 bolts and your bell housings come off. Mounting is a little different. The older ones have a full like through bolt here, whereas this one does not, but it doesn't matter because we're using a chassis mount. And what these do, this does the same, but you just have a bolt and a nut instead of this has actual threads. Otherwise, besides the bell housing swap, we are gonna have to actually swap the flange here for the drive shaft. Maybe kind of hard to tell, but the E30 flange is more protruded, which I guess we'll just start with the shift shaft seal because it's already ready to go here. And there she blows. Crusty old shift shaft seal. I always buy 2 of these shift shaft seals because there's a great chance that you will mess up the first one. So always better to have 2. But fit that there. If memory serves me, it's a 15. Yep, 15 fits on there perfect. Okay, beautiful. Shift shaft seal is done. Now we need our shifter lever. Now obviously if you get a Dogleg from an M3, all this will be the same, but those are extremely hard to come by. Trick of the trade here. So a lot of people complain about shifter slop, and I've talked about this before in videos, and you can buy this entire piece, you know, online. It's like $100 or something, or you could save yourself literally like $96 because it's $4 or something, and you can get yourself the foam. The foam is what goes in this piece, and that is what basically dictates the play and the movement of your shifter right there. It's extremely important, and it gets worn down over the years, and people try to convince you that you need a $100 piece. Not true at all. I don't even think there's anything in here. Oh, there's a little bit. So spend some time, clean out the old gunk, and it literally is gunk at this point. I mean, it's literally ground down. Got all the old residue out of here. Now we got our new foam piece here. You just shove it in. And on real OEM, it doesn't even mark this as a foam piece. It calls it like a plastic something, but just look on the diagram and it's self-explanatory where it is. There's literally nothing else that could be there. Shove it in. It's gonna make it a lot harder to get on actual shifter here. But that's a good thing, because that means it'll feel good in the car. Pin down, and there we have it. And now, it moves, of course, but it doesn't wiggle, and it feels really good. All right, this should be a 30. You're kidding me. No way. Can't see the look on my face, but you should. Bro, this was loose. What in the hell? I just got this off by hand. This was freaking finger tight. Who worked on this transmission? I can't believe this thing didn't just destroy itself. Wow, that is ridiculous. Okay, same deal here, although we actually need an impact to get it off. Get a little bit of Scotch-Brite and just clean up the surface. Get some curl on all the splines. All right, now we get to have the fun of the setting this right here. So it's 2 stages. The first one is 125 foot-pounds. Then we loosen it, and then we tighten it to 89 foot-pounds. All right, now we loosen it. Now 89 foot-pounds. Throw this back in. Now, it's time for the fun part. Swap these big old bell housings. then, look at that. You just pop it right off. And our simple bell housing swaparoo is done. I will replace the pivot pin, because why not? Put that in. Pop the throwout bearing. And there we have it. Dogleg gearbox is ready to go in. Remind me there's no fluid in it. Please remind me that there's no fluid in it. Put our seatbelt on it, and in we go. Oh yeah, that's a nice lineup right there. Boom, on, easy, lined up. Thank you, sir. Crank sensors in. All right, time for our trans brace and our new Group N AKG mounts. Forgot that these old dog legs only have one mount. Damn, I totally forgot about that. That sucks. Well, I guess that's what we're gonna run, one trans mount. But yeah, I guess we found our one difference there. It's that the old ones don't have two mounts. I mean, I guess having a solid mounts, I mean, it really isn't going anywhere. But I don't know. I'm gonna see if there's a provision or something. And it sucks that the secondary mount is on the same side. So it's like really, you can even get a brace, right? And you can mount it here too. But then again, you just have all the help on one side. We'll see how it does for a track day. I'll see if any of the other E30 guys have any provisions, because I can't imagine that everyone that wants a dog leg gets it directly from an E30. I mean, I know I've heard people discuss using the older 6 Series ones before, so I'm pretty confused. I mean, they raced E9s, so, and this is what they had. So I don't, you know, it is what it is, I guess. It really isn't moving. The whole suspension of the car is moving, so I'm not too concerned. Now, everyone, remember what I said here. Remind me that there's no fluid in it. So we're gonna do what I always do. We're gonna do the cocktail here. MTL redline with MT90. The MT90 thickens up the MTL just a little bit. So we do a full thing of MTL, and then we finish it off with the MT90. Ooh. All right, we're going 35 foot-pounds. Get the MT90. All right, it's flowing. All right, time to do the chassis mount. I've never done this before. A little nervous because you don't have infinite attempts here. But again, look at how nice this thing is. So you have the hardware right here, slots up, and then you got the nuts that go from the top. So the single mount goes in the front and both the rears go in the back. And you know, it's slots, so it slides, but I like this to be as decent as I can get it. I kind of outlined it. And now 2 there, 1 there. Here goes nothing. The damage is done. Now let's see if they go through the holes. Okay. Haha, we did it. Now how the hell am I gonna get this tight? Oh, okay, screwdriver's jammed. Throw these 3 nuts on there really quick. Okay, that can come out. Now it's up. Now we'll put our dual shear on. Oh yeah, baby, we got a chassis mount. Let's go up there and see what it's like. Check it out. That looks so cool. Okay, so I like where it's at because it's straight up. So we'll tighten it, and as long as it engages the gears, then we don't have to move it. Oh my. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm excited. What a little mod that is making me feel really, really excited. That's reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yo, this is gonna be loud, but it's gonna sound sick. Woo! All right, a boot would be really cool here. And the rebuilt drive shaft is going in. My local buddy had this laying around, which is very convenient for me because I think this car needed it. What the hell's going on here? Does this CSB not fit? How is it possible that this center support bearing does not fit? All right, so weirdly enough, the new drive shaft has a wider center support bearing that does not fit. It's from an E30 M3. That's very bizarre to me. So we're gonna use the old one. All the components on it look usable. I cannot tell any issue with these U-joints. It sounds stupid, but to justify not replacing it, you know, we're not doing everything at once, so now I'll at least know, like, hey, that it was a bad drive shaft or it was something else, rather than condemning this drive shaft when the whole time it was, you know, it was fine, so. 53 foot-pounds on the drive shaft Guibo. You want to preload it a few millimeters forward. Drive shaft is in, transmission in, brace in, everything is done under here. And our final step is to get the exhaust on. So luckily this is a nice lightweight, full exhaust, vibrant muffler. I'm pretty stoked about it. I don't think I have hangers in the rear, so I'm probably gonna have to have someone come over and fabricate them. But it's built for an E30 M3, so it should just mount right up. Yeah, so I don't have any hangers for this to work in the rear here. So the exhaust is on. I got to get a bracket welded, but we're going to give this thing an oil change, do a couple maintenance items to the engine now. Yeah, it smells fine, looks fine. Fresh crush washer on here. It actually says 7/24. So it was done July of 2024. So yeah, we're over a year, so this is just about right for the oil change. All right, to get access to the oil filter, we gotta pull out our air box. Damn, this is on there tight. Oh my God. Wow, these came in handy. All right, I'm going with VR1 20W50 on this car. It's gonna be hot temp racing. I think VR1's a good oil for these engines. We'll top off the filter and spin her on. Fill this thing up with oil. 4.5 quarts, I wanna say. Half VR1's normal, half VR1 full synthetic. Didn't realize these were two different things, but hell, I'm mixing and matching. Both are 20W50. Right at the halfway point. Oil change accomplished. Honestly, I got plugs for it, but X5 DCs are original for these cars, which I think they're discontinued. And I mean, these are burning Like literally perfect. I see no reason why I can't keep running these, so I'll throw those back in. We'll finish out the year with these, and then next year we'll go, I got the NGK D7 EAs, and we can put those on for next season or so. All right, let's fire it up since we're not touching the spark plugs. First time hearing this exhaust too. Still pretty loud, but it sounds really good. And I have all my vacuum ports. Engine sounds good. No leaks. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That sounds freaking awesome. Okay, we got forward, we got reverse, yep, we got gears. Pretty freaking excited to hear this thing at full tilt. A little low, but we're within the limit, so. And the final thing we're gonna do before our track event is play with our new Mantis manometer from Angry Ass Solutions. So what this is an ITB balancing tool. This has been around for many years. And Angry Ass got in touch with the owner and they have bettered it. And we're gonna give this a shot and just see where my ITBs are in terms of balancing. Now, a word of precursor here. This is an S38 version. This has 6 things. On the 4-cylinder, it might not work to the best of its abilities, but we're gonna give it a shot either way. So I have it here hanging on the ladder, and I have it like this because I have the tubes up in the air because we had to get the fluid to drain. You see how the fluid is pretty much even right here? That's how you want it to be. So you gotta, because it comes in a package all bundled up. Get the tubes above it, take the ends off the tubes, let the fluid drain. The next step is to open this up, and this will do the final balancing for us. I'm gonna let that sit for a little second. You can see we got a bad air bubble in that third runner right there. All right, you can see they're just about level. So now this will go back on here. Again, very important. All right, and the next step is to now hook it onto the engine. So first things first is you want the Mantis actually above the height of the motor. So I'm gonna lift it back up here to the top of my ladder. Usually you can just hang it from your hood, but as you guys probably realize, I don't have a hood. You have your hoses right here. So we're gonna pull these off, your vacuum caps, if you will. On the S14, there's 4. On the S38, of course, there's 6. You're gonna pull these vacuum caps off the runners right here. And then these yellow things, if you ever wonder what these are just the caps that basically protect your adjusters. And that's what we're gonna be adjusting to level this out. But before we do that, we're just gonna hook it up. So these are numbered, 1 through 4. So you just hook them straight onto there. And then I'm going to cap off the other 2 lines because we're not using them. Okay, now you want the engine to be hot, so the engine is hot right now. I warmed it up. And now we're ready to fire it up. The cap is on the Mantis, so we shouldn't suck any fluid in. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. So there you can see where each of our ITBs are at. 1 is down there, 2 is all the way up there, 3 is all the way up there, and 4 is down here. So it seems like 1 and 4 are pretty close, 2 and 3 are pretty close, but they're not all uniform. You want them to be uniform. So now we start to adjust. Well, we gotta pull these off first, and they break. So that's how you know it's been done, is they'll probably have blue ones on because the yellow ones are discontinued and they just completely break. Okay, now if you look at the Mantis, I'm adjusting number 2 and I'm bringing it down. You can see I brought down 2. Now it's a little low, so we'll bring it back up. Now 3 is obviously still super high. Now you can see 3 is falling, and the engine actually sounds a lot better. It actually got a lot happier, but I brought it too low. And when you adjust runners, the other ones will move with it. I learned this when I was tuning my ITB M3, and it was a pain in the ass. But every little adjustment changes all of them. Need to put a little bit back into 3. Oh no, right there. Pretty even. You can see on there where that 8.5 is, that's the ideal spec of the engine and the runners. So we actually want to bring them all down a little bit to get closer to that spec. There you go, they're bouncing right where they should. We are a little under the 8.5, but this is a little tricky and none of the components of this car are actually serviced. So I don't want to try my luck here. I'm really happy with that. Way better than it was. The idle actually definitely smoothed out on this car, that's for sure. Now we can just turn the car off. Mantis can come off. We'll just leave that hanging there. She did wonderful. All right, and it's not official until you put on your new pintle caps. So it's a good indicator of your car if it's ever had it done. If it has yellow or blue, yellow it probably means it's never been done, or it was done so long ago that they still had the yellow ones. But now blue is how they are. So then you just pop them on, and there you go. So having these all in sync is super crucial to having an S14 or any older ITB car. And the Mantis should work on any ITB car, even like my ITB M30, because you do have these vacuum ports. So I'm really stoked about that. Thank you very much, Angry Ass. This S14 is gonna be happy as ever. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do that on all my other cars. So my E30 M5s are gonna need that. The other E30 M3 could use it. And I think it worked fine on the S14. They say it might not work very well, but I don't see any issue there. So, and remember, if you're getting anything from Angry Ass Solutions, if you watch my channel, you probably are. J Miller discount code gets you 5% off on their site. So don't forget it. And this E30 is ready to rock. So I have 3 days till my track event. I just gotta get my exhaust hangers welded up, and then I'll probably throw some footage in from the track here, because why not? I'd actually like to go drive it too, but I probably won't drive it until the track. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this race car maintenance video or modification video, depending on how you look at it. Let's get to the track.